Man, we're live. Okay. Was not ready for this. That's okay. All right. Um, this is mostly gonna be just to record my reaction for the new teaser trailer, but also talk about how. So back in the day when I got into um, Godzilla, um, I uh, I wrote a comic book like within a day. It took me like 4 hours. It took me all night as a kid. And I didn't write it. I drew it. And a lot of those things, like, um, the concept was it was Godzilla, King of the Monsters. That's what the name of it was. This was 2014 in September, and King Ghidorah was in it. Megaguirus was in it. Rodan, Mechagodzilla, Biolante. Um, I don't think there's any more than that, but uh, yeah, no. There's a scene where King Ghidorah apparently comes out of the the ocean and fights a submarine. But not only that, King Ghidorah also takes Godzilla into space, and Godzilla drops from the Earth, and that's when he fights Megaguirus. Um, there's also something else though. I'm totally like forgetting here. Um, oh, and then the second one, which was called Battle of Trinity, Godzilla 2, or no, it wasn't called Battle of Trinity. It was Battle of the Army. My bad. Trinity was the villain, which was an original kaiju they made up. Anyway, there's a lot of things that I like to do where there's concepts and there's ideas and there's fun things, this and that, this and that. And when I first watched Minus One, I knew there was sequel potential. I mean, it's a really good movie, alone. But if you're tuning in, this will be just a Godzilla minus zero reaction. I mean, honestly, just say hi, talk to me, we'll chat. Um, I guess I should pull up the actual thing. I've never streamed before officially. I think I've opened. I think I have opened a stream before. Um, Somebody else is doing it, and they got 377 views. So they have the same exact ideas that I do. So, let's get this party started. I also have a document I want to show you guys. Um, let's see. All right, we're gonna be waiting here for a little bit. Oh yeah, okay. What I was gonna say. This is great. This is gonna be a great way to talk about it. If you guys want to join my Discord server, I don't know the invite. I guess I could put a link for it. Um, I'll do it later because it's kind of a personal server, um, more than anything. But it'd be kind of cool if I get some subscribers in there. Anyway, I'm an artist. I'm a think thoughter. Yeah, I'm a thinker. And there, there's a lot of things that I wanted to see from this universe that I cannot find inspiration in other m- media forms in Godzilla. Like this gives me the same like imagination as when Shin Godzilla came out and people were thinking about all the forms. Like what Godzilla Minus One opened was a was floodgates to a whole new world of prequel material or prequel-esque. What do you mean by prequel? I mean like no, not prequel. Sorry. Um, a time period piece, yeah. And all the kind of themes you can kind of tackle with something like, for instance, pollution was a big thing in the 50s and 60s and 70s and now. But like Hedorah was built off of literal, um, like Hedorah, Godzilla versus Hedorah is like Shin Godzilla is prototype Shin Godzilla because it was a satire in some ways. Um, and so I guess I don't have a, oh, I just lost a viewer, didn't I? No, I didn't. Um, and let's do this. Where can I have the chat open? Wait. How can I do that? Can I just, I don't know if I can. Oh, wait, can you guys even hear me? Oh, no. Wait. Oh, you can hear me. It's fine. It's no big deal. I'm a streamer. Let's see. Okay. Oh my gosh. We got 30 minutes. Oh, this is perfect time, amount of time. Okay. So, yeah, I like to think in thought, and I wrote, like, for instance, this is almost like this is almost like a year and a half old now. Wow. And I wrote a trilogy, not right, but I mocked up a synopsis for a trilogy. And there's a lot of ideas that I came up with, and I think that a lot of it's really good. Obviously, the design of minus one, or in this case, minus zero, Godzilla, Goji, whatever you want to call him. I didn't really mock up one. Not really. I kind of wanted to look the same. Mostly because this guy right here. And I will read through the sequel real quick, but in the beginning of the second film, it would open with this Castle Bravo scene because it would take place in the year 1954 or 1953. And there would be a Castle Bravo reference, obviously, with it being Castle Bravo. And this is the Godzilla that would come out of it. And there would be two Godzillas, like people were thinking up and kind of fan theorizing. And I really like that idea. I think two Godzillas in a Godzilla movie was needs to be done. I mean, the only movie to do it has been um like I'm saying like full-grown Godzillas has been Godzilla 1998. So and then to not see them be in the both scenes. That's what I really hate about Godzilla 1998. They kill one and then one appears. Honestly, as a kid, you couldn't tell if like as a 4-year-old, you couldn't tell that there was two in that movie, mom and dad, that they were completely two different things. Anyway, um and so I kind of had these mock-ups. I mean, these are just drawings that are just minus one stuff. But then we have this one, which is like, whoa, 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 there's a lot going on here. Why does Anguirus have like a King Ghidorah looking head? That's just the way I drew him. But why does it look like he's two-headed? And then this is Mechagodzilla. I drew this literally February of 2024. Um, this is Rodan, obviously. I really like this idea. I think it's very tasteful for your traditional. I really like it a lot. Obviously, it's kind of inspired by MonsterVerse in a whole lot of ways, but I think it's completely different too. In like the Rodan way, you know. This is a better picture, I guess, or kind of. So they're both blurry. Then this is what Anguirus would look like, and obviously this was actually the logo I was going for. It's just the G and then kind of a one. I really liked it because it looked like a two, like a, a symbol for two, a Roman numeral. Um, that was a wallpaper for some good time. And then that's actually a mock-up of what it would look like for a certain scene in the movie. In minus not zero in Godzilla Zero. I am bewildered that I was this good at drawing. Um, I just want to say that right now. I am so so rusty. Incredible. Incredible. I should have a soundboard. This is kind of awkward, guys. Guys, am I actually streaming right now? Oh no. I lost a viewer. Should we play some music, guys? You guys. Alright. Why not? Let's play some Godzilla -1 music. Wait, is this hype or no? I think it's hype.
You know, I've always found
That's
it
so
strange.
loud.
People really
I'm
want
so
to save
sorry.
money, but are so willing to toss their hard-earned coin into a 3-foot
Wait, can you
pool of
actually,
disappointment.
can YouTube,
I want to be rich.
on YouTube, can you stream
You
YouTube?
don't need to throw your money.
Genuinely? Because what if you just had YouTube Premium? Right? Alright, let's go to Divine. It's still too loud. Okay, no, we'll listen to this instead. Because I think this is so, like, hearing this, I really want these soundtracks on DVD or not DVD on CD. I would really like that, like a whole soundtrack volume of the Millennium series. Anyway, oh my gosh, I don't have much time. Let me grab a link real quick. I don't wanna, since I'm streaming, I don't wanna reveal any information, because this is gonna stay up. Okay. Here we go. So, like I said, I wrote this like a long time ago. And I'm gonna say let's confirm here. View, is it view? No, it's details. Details. Last modified a year ago. A year and 3 months. So I've had, this is like no details. Obviously I'm gonna add on to it because this is what I was thinking about and all these kind of things. Like I've had some different ideas. Like I'll just start off the bat. There's some morbid things going on here. Like I wanted this. Okay, this music's not. It's not doing it for me. Can we get some elevator music? Yeah. Cause this is goated, but like, yeah, we need some actual elevator music. Let's do some Nintendo. This is good. Hell yeah. Don't notice the Godzilla stuff. That's it's another day. Okay, so as I said, we'll begin on Castle Bravo. This is Godzilla 0, Act 1. Just a few kilometers off of Bikini Atoll, something emerges from the depths. It emerges from the depths, heading straight towards an alerting sound, its own. Which, like, just how in Godzilla -1, where they have a roar in the ocean and it, like, freaking, it just throws it like like a freaking child. You know, switch controls are ready and hot. They're ready to test this. As soon as the target hits the execution threshold, the operation is in action. With hit dead on target, it obliterated whatever it was. Or did it? So, obviously at this point, they knew, at this point, the US knew of more kaiju, same as Japan, but the government was hiding this information, and they decided to just nuke another kaiju, Godzilla 2014 style. And obviously they knew that the radiation allowed for it to happen in the first place, so this was incredibly neglectful. But they're like, well, we hit it down on target, so we just obliterate it, right? Because this isn't the original Godzilla. This is a completely different Godzilla. Because at this point, Godzilla actually is never spotted. It's gonna say that he was never spotted. Reports of Godzilla have been rumored frequently for the past few years, but to no evidence. Also, by the way, there are dates. I'm gonna zoom this in actually. There you go. March 1st, 1954. That's when I think that is when Castle Bravo occurred. Um, it has been nearly 7 years, or six. I'm pretty sure, 6, 7. And as I said, Godzilla has actually never been seen. Like anybody who says that he has been seen before, after Koichi killed him, no, it's a lie. But reports have been returned frequently for the past few years, but there's no evidence. No boats, no true witnesses, just one young kid with a picture that could easily be disproven by circumstances. The kid, I think it's Suki, I think that's what I named him, is passionate about uncovering and showing proof of the kaiju's existence. Oh my god. Shiro? I forgot these names. I really like making up fictional character names, but I'm not good at remembering them. Yeah, Shiro from the previous film will help. Oh yeah, Shiro. Well, I think I named him Kid. Yeah, no, that's Kid. So Kid from the previous film will help with his own new personal boat. I'm really bad with these names. Akitsu? Akitsu is yeah. I'm gonna say that. I think that he's the captain. So captain and kid and captain, in that order. Skeptical about it all, especially regarding the secrecy of the government, as I've said. Next scene: Koichi, Noriko, and Akiko are a developing family. Akiko's been in school for 4 years now. She's a child, but she's speaking words. She has no crying scenes in the movie, I believe, except for the end. And so the scenes just show that they're literally thriving. They're literally like so well off. And they, like I said, it's just supposed to be another scene of them reminiscing, or not reminiscing, but of them being there. And then we have, I'm not sure if this audio is loud enough. Hopefully it's not too loud. I'm gonna turn it down. Yeah, there you go. Hopefully it wasn't too loud. Okay. Yeah, and so, yeah, they're family. The captain, kid, Noda. But Noda has been kind of distant. Well, you'll see why. Japan is on an all-time low in economy. I mean, this is freaking 1954. They're only now rebuilding. Koichi gets is accommodated with an astounding paycheck for Godzilla, which would be like, I think, I'm not sure how much yen was actually worth back then, but I'm gonna say he got like 10,000 yen. No, that's horrible. I'd say 100,000 yen. Yeah, because 1,000,000 yen is still like that's a lot. I mean, for back then. So basically, he just got like a paycheck, like a literal just paycheck. Like he worked for a week, he clocked in. That's all he gets, even for back then. It's supposed to be a kind of a backhanded paycheck, and so like that the government really doesn't care. They just gave him. They just accommodated him. But he's offered a job. He can't be at this he can't be financially sound with watching the kids and Noriko being pregnant. She's pregnant. He's offered a job as a co-captain, for an aero squad, a task force specialized in Japan's self-defense force, with 10 other pilots. We meet a new character in Noda's side plot story, that will then, of course, interconnect, and we look into how Noda has no family, and he's kind of looking back, and Noda's gonna have this arc, and he will become the Dr. Serizawa of this universe. And I think, honestly, I really want this to happen. Like, I really want to see a character go from being this hopeful person to what will become a person that will do everything and risk it all for the better of humanity. which we see in the next movie, in this trilogy, that goes -1, 0, just not it's not -0, it's 0, and then Godzilla squared. Then we have uh so he meets another scientist, which I don't know the new character's name or not, and yeah, no, he's just noticed kind of digging into his past, trying to meet new friends, or trying to catch up with an old friend. Kid and Suki are on sea. They're staking out and fishing, and they're right next to an island that's 3 kilometers away. Tiny island that is, oh my gosh, let me just restart. Kid and Suki are on the sea, staking out and fishing right next to an island 3 kilometers away. It's a tiny island that has bigger sister islands. I think it's supposed to say 2 bigger sister islands. Kid and Suki talk about their experience with the Godzilla, which either it would have a scene depicting it, or it would be a very quiet, somber, reminiscing of grief and trauma. It does say we get a flashback in Godzilla, which I would do, but I also like when some characters kind of just talk it out. But I do also like another view. It's kind of like I like a bit of both, yeah. And he was within the atomic radiation radius when he was seen by Godzilla, and he also reminisces about what he witnessed a month ago, where it was Godzilla, and he was talking about Castle Bravo. Shuki shows him the picture he took of it, and he's like, "Whoa, what was that? Like, what kind of freaking huge bomb is that?" Obviously, it was Castle Bravo. I mean, they officially have the statement, but that picture is quite literally, yeah. Anyway, they bond. They become close together, and then early in the morning, some heavy waves pass over. Kid looks and sees something coming straight towards him. He starts to move and heads to the island, hopeless. He expects the creature not to follow. They try and circle the island, and it works. The kaiju starts to step instead of swim. Because of the shallow water, to their surprise, it looks nothing like what Godzilla looked like. A quadrupedal sharp porcupine dinosaur that vaguely resembles elements of Godzilla. Suki gets pictures, the kaiju doesn't follow them. Playing the same scene from a different perspective, after they lose sight of the monster, the scene continues with Angus crawling just a little farther before collapsing. Angus appears to be in pain and seemingly sick. At this point, I think the story or my writing kind of just becomes less detailed and more like, this happens, and like, just yada yada. But continue read. Koichi meets the officials of the SDF. They have new inventory, new set of pilots he has to train with. Koichi has his first practice with his crew, performing simulated dogfights and Top Gun action, like the movie. We get familiar with characters, and hopefully they're well written and memorable. We get montages that lead back into present or the future. Kid and Suki get back to the harbor, telling everyone immediately, especially Noda, Koichi, and Sasuke. The pictures develop and they show them. They're all terrified what this means. Koichi shows Noriko. Immediately, Noriko is torn by this news. She doesn't say anything. Noriko feels it isn't fair to express that she doesn't have any good feelings about this, the SCF job, the new monster, and what lies in her future, because she's pregnant. Obviously, I didn't mention that because it kind of became a different idea. But she doesn't like it. It's not like last time where she's like, you have to live, you have to do this. It's more like we've been through this before, and she kind of doesn't accept it. She more takes another step towards living, and she's like, just do it for us, and just do it right. And Shiro, Noda, Yoko, and the captain come back to that. I don't know who that is. I'm so bad with names. They find the kaiju, and it's in a form of scale-like lichen, um, growing around it. The kaijus in less pain, being in and out of conscious, just observing it. They observe it from afar. This is where we get this, where it doesn't engulf the entire island, but that's kind of the idea. And obviously Godzilla appears. Spoiler warning. The ship is crossing over the seas. This is a completely different scene, with a calm set of waves and with no current in the ocean. Godzilla appears out of the small waves, then crosses them, breaking the absolute calm, destroying the ship in Godzilla's wake. Godzilla didn't even come through. He literally destroyed it in its wake. I'm gonna have to wrap this up really quick, but you know what? I'll just do the plot synopsis. Or no, I can go through it pretty quick. I can go through it quicker. Okay, the flight crew come across the island with the kaiju. They start flying back, and they spot Godzilla. Koichi has the rest fly back. Koichi watches Godzilla from afar. He then leads him to the island, which he was already on a crash course for Anguirus. Godzilla approaches the island. He stares at the unconscious Anguirus, which at this time I was kind of thinking Baragon too. But it makes sense to do Anguirus. He swims towards the island. Godzilla fights the unmatched kaiju and eradicates it. Eventually eradicates it. The flight crew is training, and once Godzilla suddenly appears. Now, obviously, there's in between scenes, obviously. I mean, literally, I went from scene 12 to, and it says scene 11 above, yeah. So, they're not ready. They really aren't. They're ready to deal with it, but they weren't ready to fight it. And he arrives on a mainland Japan sooner than expected. But they had a plan anyway for months, and they were able to assemble this sinkhole, and they used it on him, and it was successful. It actually knocked him out. It's dusk though, and Godzilla reawakes. The military is ready and armed to win round 2. Godzilla wakes and goes straight out to sea to return. Sorry. The strange ships in its wake, including Akitsu, Kid, yeah, and they were all in there. Godzilla instead moves towards the Anguirus inland. So he kind of did a switchback, which he destroys the entire naval fleet. Which Noda, obviously these characters are in trouble. Anguirus appears in the middle of the city. Now, the thing is, in between those scenes, we have, Noda brings up his past, yada yada. Oh yeah, no, Godzilla approaches Mount Toy, and is being temporarily by the SDF by subsequent planning ahead. Koichi and Noriko have a heated argument about the livelihood of their children. But they actually, Noriko and Koichi do have problems within. And Godzilla then wakes from his sinkhole and turns around destroying and injuring the crew aboard, Noda and Akitsu. Godzilla then rips through the entire naval SDF. Noriko goes into labor. The double-headed Anguirus appears and fights Godzilla. Our nice Anguirus here. I'm gonna skip this one. I can't concentrate. Okay. And we get a double-headed Anguirus, which is just, he's a tragic beast. They imagine 2 heads. That isn't King Ghidorah. How that would work. And they're in pain. They're suffering. They're thinking for each other. It's anything. If you read anything about parabiosis, that's what it was meant to be. It was meant to be the government has parabiosis, but because of the way that I wanted, it just didn't work. Anguirus was not applicable to the radiation poisoning that it got, so it became a monster, like an actual monster. And so they battle in the middle of Yokohama. Eventually, Anguirus tears itself apart, because of the two minds being stuck in one head. Godzilla destroys the villain. STF. Rodan appears. This is Rodan, by the way, guys. He's kind of a fire. He's not exactly a fire Rodan, but he's kind of inspired by it. Rodan kills every pilot Koichi. Rodan in this context, by the way, is meant to be a kamikaze. He is literally meant to be the embodiment of what Koichi never wanted to be. And so, and you'll see this more in the sequel. I only have 4 minutes. So this is the sequel. So honestly, I'll just skim through the other plot synopsis. But he takes out the fight, takes out SDF, Godzilla Rodan fight. It leads to Rodan and Godzilla destroying miles and miles of landscape. And there's an entire scene of Godzilla raids again. Or like, literally Godzilla raids again. 10 minutes of Godzilla destruction. Godzilla enters destruction with a spiral heat ray. That inline vaporizes 24 miles towards Tokyo. Noriko's child doesn't survive birth, leaving Koichi stranded in a desolate wasteland. I love how this music's definitely not fitting. But you hear me right. Noriko's child doesn't survive, and Koichi is within the wasteland, the battle between Godzilla and Rodan, and that's where the movie ends. Then we get Godzilla squared, or G squared. It's a Godzilla. It opens with a Godzilla-saurus short film, revealing that there's a second Godzilla. Noda was injured with his eye now gone, and there's frontal lobe damage. He isn't exactly Noda we know and love. He has some amnesia, which kind of makes him forget Koichi and everything that he's had. But of course, he kind of regains it towards the second act. The beginning of the second act, but he's still a completely different character, personality-wise. Koichi wakes up and finds himself in the middle of destruction in the aftermath. Sorry, he heads to look for where maybe his second landed, his co-pilot. He's determined to save him because he did see somebody with him, and he wasn't alone. And, by the way, though, this is the morbid part that I was going to talk about that built off of that. Noriko's child that doesn't survive, I was thinking about having it to where she buries the child. And because of the G cells that she has in her, because she does have G cells, that she would shed those G cells and they would actually be birthed into her child. Which her child died due to natural causes, or like in natural causes, and man, these songs are kind of getting garbage. Okay. Yeah, we got a minute, guys. Let's actually look at the feed. Shit. Anyway, it would become Biollante. The G cells would react, and because she was buried in soil, it's just the way that the movie logic would work. Anyway, he finds the fellow pilot, but to no luck, he passed away. He promises to make this right, and strengthening, if that means to every monster, so be it. Rodan's actually spread. Rodan spreads throughout Japan. Sadistic in nature, they represent the sins and acts of Imperial Japan. Godzilla Squared takes Hawaii in representation of Castle Bravo. Koichi goes into immediate care and takes care of his wounds. Godzilla -1 smells radiation out the ashes. Another presses War II mentality. Alright, we're in. We're in, guys. Holy shit, we're in. It's loud, it's loud. How much time do we have, guys? What do we think? What do we think? How many people are here? 10,000? We need 100,000 right now. 4 million right now. 200 billion right now. Oh wait, there's not that many people in the world. There is too. I think this is actually... Is this Toho's thing, or is this YouTube? If it's YouTube, I've never seen this before. Okay, I can't miss it. Sadly, there's not going to be... There's not going to be a face cam, guys. I'm so sorry. Whatever music this is fire. Because I really doubt this is the soundtrack. My speculation here is going off the walls right now. I'm still actually though like really happy with this music. It sounds so good. Why is it fire? I think it's gonna actually start at like the next hour. Like I said, my theory is that there's gonna be one small kaiju, and then a big kaiju. And they're not gonna reveal the kaiju. I'm 100% certain that they're not gonna reveal the next big kaiju yet. They're gonna kind of tease Godzilla. They're gonna show Godzilla, and then show another kaiju, then big kaiju is my guess. Because it's not gonna be a bait and switch, but it's gonna be kind of on the realm of power scaling, in a fun way, in a fun movie way. Honestly, is there anybody watching my stream? I'm really happy if anybody has. No concurrent viewers, that sucks. That's okay though. I'm not too worried about that. You know, I think Biollante would be cool. Please no King Ghidorah. King Ghidorah's been overused. Mothra would be amazing. Mothra's always welcome. I don't think it's gonna happen. It's a little bit too of good versus evil. It's gotta be a evil versus evil type deal. Or nature versus nature. Maybe not nature versus nature, but like a force of nature versus a force of nature. Honestly, I've never been more hyped for a teaser trailer in my entire life. Like, I'm not shaking, but I remember seeing the teaser trailer for Godzilla -1. That was super hype, and I waited for that too. But like this one is like, it's like another layer of it. There's it's an onion. Because -1 I predicted would be like, there's a freaking school article about how this Yamazaki turned down Toho multiple times, if I'm not mistaken, because he didn't want to touch how sacred it would be to work on a film, and he wanted to do it at the right time and all this and that. And he made films that were inspired, that were timepieces, and that would work. And he owns the genre. We're in this. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm gonna turn this up a little bit. Oh, I can't turn it up. That's already loud enough. Oh my gosh. 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 I'm sorry. Okay.
If their operation fails,
It's in English.
get to use it.
Okay, 2 years have passed. Okay.
Abort third drop. Repeat. Abort third drop.
That was oh, uh, yo, what? What? Yo! Oh my gosh. No way! No way! He's dropping! No way! He's in America! He's in America! I, oh my gosh. Nothing prepared me for that. No way. No way. Oh. That's... Oh my gosh. Seeing the Statue of Liberty was so hype. I'll just watch it in full again. There's no reason to break it down just yet. Oh my gosh.
If their operation fails, maybe we'll finally get to use it.
I'll analyze that.
Abort third drop. Repeat. Abort third drop.
I'm pretty sure. Man. Something's gonna go on with Noriko. And this is crazy. Godzilla looks so good. Godzilla looks insane. I'm gonna watch this movie 20 times. I watched it 12 times in theaters. Oh man, Godzilla looks the same there. I kind of wish he looked a little different. Why is he not looking different? Sorry about that notification, guys. Let me mute it. Let me mute my thing real quick. Let's analyze it now. If their operation fails, yada yada yada. My guess, that's America talking, obviously, because this means there's gonna be a lot of oh yeah. If I'm not mistaken, from what I've heard, there's gonna be a lot of American involvement in this film, which I hope doesn't lead to bad acting, or like kind of unbearable acting. I'm really hoping that this is about it. Like we get some American stuff, but not anything crazy.
If their operation fails,
Fails,
maybe we'll finally get to use it.
maybe we'll finally get to use it. What does that mean? If it fails, they'll finally get to use it. A kaiju, a weapon. We're getting a weapon from America. Another one. Brother, what possibly could they have cooked up in the 5 years of the atom bomb? Sorry, 4 years. But really, in context, I mean, they can also have another weapon in the works on top of Oppenheimer's. But like, brother, what do they have?
Abort third drop.
Abort.
Repeat. Abort third drop.
So let's look at this scene.
Abort third drop. Repeat.
Actually, I am looking at it right now. That looks like it's a completely different scene from. I thought this was the final scene in the movie, but um this is a completely different crew. This is like that's a destroyer, that's a destroyer. At least it looks like it, and that's an American ship or uh plane, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not too keen on um World War II weaponry, but I'm pretty sure this is all American stuff. This is an American operation. And although I will say, I think this also could be Japanese too, though. I'm misinterpreting that. But at the same time, I don't know. Um, I'll look this up actually real quick, because um, because yeah, if I'm not mistaken, that's a I can't say what actually it is, but let me take a look see here actually. Like I said, and if it's gonna be accurate because freaking Yamazaki loves aircrafts. He loves his aircrafts. I think so, because it's one of the big M's that they have. If I'm not mistaken, it's a B-29. Let me look that up real quick. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, that's a B-29 bomber. Which I'm pretty sure is American. So obviously, the route that I went was, um, more of like Japan and the STF type of story. It looks like we're getting a lot of American involvement, which honestly I never really thought about. To involve the American military into a Godzilla movie as much as movies have teased or them dropping a nuke on them. So this scene here actually, like I said, it sounds like they're either talking because they're showing what this. I think this is from minus one, obviously. That looks like Ginza, I think, for minus one. I could be wrong though. And right here is a completely different operation. But the problem I see is that, like, why would there be a B-29? Like, let me look up the scene from minus one ending. Boats. How are the boats looking in that scene? That's my question. It sucks because I watched this movie so many times, and I can't actually recall if this is accurate. Polling boats polling, pulling Godzilla. They're pulling Godzilla. I'm not getting any screenshots. That's kind of annoying. I do think that it looks like this looks like exactly from the ending because those yeah so I'm pretty sure this is the ending of the movie. And so if their operation fails, they get to use it. So that B-29 bomber, I don't know why it's there. I don't know why it's there.
Abort third drop. Repeat.
Abort third drop.
Abort third drop.
A new threat. And oh yeah, she already had her eye patch the whole time. Approaches. Radiation. He's in America. And the reason why I can tell is because America. Sorry, my dad called me. And so what we're seeing here is what you call American crop fields. They're very plain and square looking. So this is actually in America. He's flying America right now. That looks like America. I don't know any part of Japan that looks like that. And these houses, whatever parts of these houses, to me, I don't see any kind of Japanese influence. I kind of just see plain Jane houses that I could recognize. Yeah, they look like my crowd of houses. And then this is Japan. What was that? Which this is crazy. What we're seeing here is some sort of energy mine or energy field, and I think this is remnants of Godzilla or something like that. I don't know what's there. Then we get to see Godzilla's new design. And then we get to see this. This is how you make a teaser trailer, by the way. You just show like a few scenes, and yeah. Like, oh my gosh, bro. I can't tell what that's supposed to be, but my guess this is another kaiju. Actually, let's slow it down. I want to spoil it for myself. Yes, I do. I think there's a person there. Oh, come on. Um. Yeah, it's too tricky to see anything. So I'm just gonna say that was anything. So obviously a new kaiju. Like we already know that. We don't know what kind of kaiju, which is like really exciting, honestly. And we get to see a really, really cool scene. And Koichi's back at it. Noriko is obviously suffering something or grieving something. Why? It's crazy that it says only 4 are watching. That's crazy. And so, oh, there's actually 4 viewers. What's up, guys? I'm just like doing the synopsis, or not synopsis, but looking into it. This is exciting. Godzilla's gonna be in America. I mean, like this. Okay, 10 more speed. He's literally in America right here. Like those are crop fields. So a lot. It seems like the third act is gonna take place in America, which is really, really cool. And they're gonna have a weapon. It was confusing. Is like why is I'm gonna assume Koichi's in America. Why is he in America? Why is he fighting for America? Like, genuine question. If you guys haven't seen anything, or anything beforehand, these were drawings and kind of concept stuff that I mocked up. Nothing was answered, or nothing came to fruition that I did. Because this is kind of the idea. Instead of this Mecha Godzilla looking guy, it was just gonna be another Godzilla, and then there was gonna be a two-headed Anguirus, and then a Rodan. Yeah, I don't usually do live streams, and I don't usually do videos about Godzilla, but I'm honestly thinking about doing Godzilla content because it's my bread and butter. It's my life. It's my livelihood. So if you want to drop a subscribe or like the stream, I don't know, anything, that'd be awesome. I'd love to do a video on what I had mocked up, but honestly, nothing beats Godzilla going to America. That's pretty cool. I appreciate you guys dropping in. Like I said, I think the scene here that we're seeing is America talking, first of all. And there's a B-29 bomber after Koichi kills Godzilla, because that's the same scene, as far as I can tell. Which I don't know why that they would be in this scene. It kind of feels kind of backwards, but it's okay. Um,
Third drop.
and they're gonna use a weapon if it fails. So my guess is they have some sort of bio weapon to that makes a kaiju or is a kaiju that Godzilla has to fight, and we get to see this freaking aftermath that Koichi has to go through hell and back. But like I said, I think unless I'm wrong, unless I'm just terribly wrong, that looks like America. He's obviously in America, and these buildings look like these houses look like America. Like they're American. They have to be. Um, I don't know. I think it's really cool. But I don't understand why he's there. To be honest, if he's in America, I don't know if he is. There's a lot going on here that is not explained, and honestly, that's okay. Like this scene, we have no idea why we have this aircraft, this water landing aircraft, and why it's gonna get destroyed by Godzilla, but it's there. I think this is probably a scene. Oh, he looks kind of legendary right there. Wow, wow. I'm so excited. No, I think this movie's gonna be top tier. It might not be as good as the first one, depending on how the movie ends. But I do think, as far as it goes for spectacle and what we want from Godzilla, we're gonna get it. So I think it's gonna be the the movie of the year for me. I hope that it has themes that represent and tracks a lot of things that uh, previous movies have done, but better, and maybe new things. Maybe get a new kaiju. I have no idea what leaks and rumors there are in the past few months, so honestly, and like I said, nothing that I wrote seems to be true or seems to be kind of in line because it's only 2 years, not six. Um, Although I will say, America being involved, America did Castle Bravo in my synopsis, but yeah, no, this is cool stuff. I gotta go uh do some things around the house apparently. No, I gotta go mow. Uh, and if you guys want to hear about my my concept stuff, just subscribe. I'll probably, or you can watch early from the stream because I have this whole thing here. Um, I guess I'll read it out right now. Because I just got the last few things. So, as I was talking about, Noda loses his frontal lobe, which he lost an eye. I've totally forgotten Rico lost an eye, so that's gone. Instead, he has a frontal lobe injury, and he has some, and usually not too much, just to the point where he kind of regresses and becomes a completely different character. He has an entire arc. Um, he changes his tune. Like it's supposed to be jarring. Um, and he regressed into his World War II mentality when he made weapons. And he can't make sense of his emotions. His anger and sadness have strengthened due to the injury. He was very lonely before. And he has a theoretical bioweapon called the Action Destroyer, which, like I said, I didn't like King of the Monsters using the Action Destroyer. I really like this context to use it because I honestly think it isn't about the Action Destroyer being able to kill Godzilla for once and for all. It's just a theme of it's the same exact way it was used in the original film, and I want to use it again because, simply put, uh, weapons of mass destruction will never get old. Simply put, especially fictional ones. And I want to do something different, but I just didn't. I just didn't feel like it. I feel like the Action Destroyer is just the perfect analogy for another super weapon. So, and you mentioned it in the previous movie. And so the government wanted to end this, and Koichi, of course, reunites with Noriko and Akiko, but to only mourn the loss of Asashi. Or, wait, what did I actually call him? I don't know what to call him. I can't pronounce that right now. Godzilla minus one and Godzilla squared cross each other. They fight. It's actually a pretty even fight. Godzilla minus one's design changed, but Godzilla squared's much more legendary inspired. Um, the SDF fight the inhabitants of Rodan on a deserted island with a dormant volcano, similar to the original movie in Rodan. Koichi is just like livid and wants to kill the main Rodan, like get true revenge. Because at this point he's like, Godzilla is Godzilla. He kills because he's a force of nature. Rodan is just freaking sadistic. And so he actually has Koichi ended his vendetta against Godzilla, and now it's like he has his eyes on Rodan because Rodan, he's seen what Rodan does. It's completely different to Godzilla, completely different nature. Godzilla squared defeats Godzilla on land, Godzilla minus one on land, and some Rodan appear to terrorize G squared, although allowing G minus one to rematch and win against the Abomination. Which he was like, the Godzilla squared was super radioactive, and so he's kind of like melting, kind of like a burning effect. Oh, wrong tab. And thank you whoever's watching. Still. What was I gonna say? Anyway, yeah, Koichi has a special plan assembled for it, in an act of revenge, killing the dying mother and the father of the Rodans on the island. It's pretty brutal. I mean, Koichi has like a full villain arc there, technically. I was gonna have an idea where like the Rodans, since they actually weren't gonna kill anybody anymore, he would leave them. But I think that kind of was like whatever, because how would they become sadistic to not sadistic, right? But then Godzilla minus one, after defeating Godzilla squared, becomes burning and overradiated. Which is kind of decisive discussion about what will make or break the future of their lives. Not the relationship, their lives. They're a lot smarter than that. They're always going to be together. Yoda decides enough is enough. He doesn't feel like he's living, but now suffering because of his frontal lobe injury. And also the burden of having the oxygen shore. It kind of just like reincarnates him back into this sad man. Koichi is successful at the assassination of the couple. And all Rodians start to retreat back to the island in distress. Only been blown up 6 hours. Only blown up hours later. The non-nuclear bomb buried in a semi-active volcano. Godzilla, instead of just being burning, he turns himself into a crystal form, which is like actually turns into like a ghost form. Yoda dies with the oxygen shore. A powerful eulogy is spoken by Kitsu. Koichi says a few lines about dreams, and the movie ends. And Yoda said at one point, "I never want to see through the result. It was only a theory after all. Only God could see this through with a will." And these are like kind of like lyrical stuff that I wanted to do. And yeah. And then we have the other sequels. And if you guys didn't know, you guys definitely don't know. There's actually a Godzilla Minus One universe that I created that is completely different from this. This is more the realistic one. I don't know why I have Godzilla vs. Gigan, but there is one. But I do think that Mothra and Hedorah, there's so many kaiju that I want to see reimagined, But the thing is, you gotta play a hand. You can't just have this. It's gotta be one thing old, one thing new. It can't be old. You can't keep on remaking stuff. It's cool when it works, like the Resident Evil games. I'm just gonna pull that right now and reference that. You have like Resident Evil HD, which is perfect remaster. Then you had like the Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3, Resident Evil 4 remasters, which are amazing games. Besides Resident Evil 3, where it adds nothing, it just kind of sparsed it down. Um, with the movies that kind of reinvent characters and everything, it's amazing. It works, but it does get old when it's all. Sorry, I got it right now. It's really old when it's been done before time and time again. It's different when it's been done only once. Like King Ghidorah, for instance. King Ghidorah has been reimagined in the Monsterverse. Please don't be King Ghidorah. Unless you put a really good spin on it, I don't want to see King Ghidorah. It'd be different if there were like 4 other Godzilla movies in between King of the Monsters, but there's only 3. Ha, only 3, not 4. You could see what I did. It's still too early to reuse King Ghidorah because we just need Hedorah, Biollante, stuff that hasn't been used before that will really work, and it doesn't matter because the thing is, fans want this, fans want that. The only title monsters that matter in the world are Godzilla, Mothra, and King Ghidorah. But even then, you take King Ghidorah out of the question and Mothra out of the question. Who still stands? Godzilla. I mean, of course, that's pretty easy to say. But in context, even King Ghidorah does not have the same weight as Godzilla, and even Mothra doesn't have the same weight as Godzilla. So, in context, it doesn't matter. They didn't choose this monster because of it's not as popular. It's not true. There's no such thing as a popularity match, especially when Japan is focusing their power on having American viewers. American viewers only know Godzilla. And even if they were trying to do fans, still, just Godzilla is enough, and they can do whatever they want. That's how I think about it. I hope Toho isn't very strict. I hope Toho has really leaned in with Yamazaki's vision, because I heard there's some constraints, there's some hurdles to go over. I really want this film to be really good. Also really long, like 2 hours and 10 minutes long, not an hour and 50. I want it to be a full feature Godzilla film. Just out the best. I mean, we have 6 months. We're half a year away. I'm excited. Actually no, we're 7 months away. Darn it. But no, there is a Godzilla Minus Universe written by me. There's like 14, 15 sequels. These are not the ones I'm talking about, actually. And it gets pretty crazy. I'll have to talk about in like an actual video because simply put, I do not have the mental bandwidth to actually express and explain the lore of that series. I mean, it's pretty cut and dry. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed the trailer. I think as far as it goes, a lot of things to be excited about Godzilla coming to America. And it seems like there's a lot of scenes and there's a lot of American involvement in the movie. Yeah, no, I think it's gonna be 10 out of 10 film. I have viewers. Hey guys, I can keep going, but I think I might end it here. Yeah. Well, yeah, I'll see you guys later. Peace out, guys.